You won't believe what's about to happen at Real Madrid. A €13 million decision could completely change the club's midfield in the coming months. And to make things worse or better, there's a controversial decision in defense ahead of the Clásico against Barcelona. There's also a player who returned ahead of schedule, another who's afraid of losing his place, and yet another twist in the Bellingham saga that could impact the entire season. So before we dive into this storm of bombshells at the Santiago Bernabeu, do what a true Madridista does. Subscribe to the channel now. Hit the notification bell because here, the content comes straight from the merengue heart with no filter. Let's go. Let's start with him. The name that arrived like a Galactico, dazzled the Bernabeu last season, and made everyone dream of the next legend to wear the white shirt. Jude Bellingham. But the beginning of this season has been tough. The guy had shoulder surgery, missed part of the preseason, came back out of rhythm, and was even benched by Xabi Alonso for 2 matches in a row. 2. People were already asking, where's the Bellingham that dominated the Champions League? But hold on, there's some good news coming. According to the newspaper Marca, Jude stayed at Valdebebas during the international break, training in silence. No trip with the national team. No rest. His focus, to recover 100% of his physical and mental form. And it looks like it's working. In a closed-door training match against Castilla, he absolutely shined. Scored a goal, ran like never before, and the coaching staff said he's free of pain and more confident than ever. The mission now is simple. Translate that into performance in an official match. And guess when he might prove he's back? This weekend against Getafe, with expectations for him to start. The club believes that by the end of October, he'll be back in beast mode like last season. The one who scored 23 goals and gave 13 assists in his debut for Real. That's the Bellingham we want back. And the best part? He might be closer than ever to becoming Europe's nightmare again. But I want to know what you think. Will Bellingham bounce back now or keep struggling? Comment down below. I want to hear from true Madridistas, and hit the like button if you also believe in this epic comeback. Now, it's time to face head-on the true nightmare that Real Madrid's defense is currently going through. A scenario filled with uncertainty, key absences, and difficult decisions right on the eve of the most symbolic match of the season, El Clásico. The drama is real. The list of unavailable players keeps growing, and it has already become a serious concern for any fan who follows the day-to-day of the club. We're talking about major names. Dani Carvajal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Antonio Rudiger, Dean Huijsen, all either out or in a critical stage of recovery. And as if that weren't enough, Ferland Mendy, who had been sidelined for a long 6 months due to a serious injury, is only now starting to regain his rhythm. The situation in the defensive sector is nothing short of an emergency. Faced with this chaos, the coaching staff led by Xabi Alonso has made a firm and strategic decision. They will not force the return of any player who is not yet 100% recovered. The directive is clear: caution over pressure. Even with El Clásico approaching and the atmosphere filled with tension and anticipation, neither Carvajal nor Alexander-Arnold will start the match. According to ESPN, there is some optimism regarding their physical recovery, but putting them in the starting 11 would be far too risky. They might appear on the bench, but the club has no intention of repeating past mistakes by rushing players back and making injuries worse. And then comes the news that shakes the entire structure of the team. Fede Valverde will be the starting right back in the clash against Barcelona. Yes, our midfield engine will be moved to the defensive line. It's an adaptation that has worked on other occasions, but let's be honest, it's far from ideal. Even so, Valverde will take on that role once again, demonstrating the versatility and commitment that have made him a key figure in the squad. On the left side, the young Álvaro Carreras is set to start. And in central defense, all eyes are on the physical condition of Dean Huijsen. The center back is dealing with a delicate muscle injury and is right at the edge of his limits. If he's not match ready, his immediate backup is already defined: Raúl Asensio, who is expected to partner with Eder Militão. The decision has already been made. The coaching staff has no doubts left. Real Madrid's defense for El Clásico is drawn up, with or without the main names. The big question now is the domino effect. Now, check this out. Real Madrid may have recently let go of a midfield talent with elite potential, but the situation still allows for a turnaround, and with a relatively affordable investment. We're talking about Chema Andres, the young 20-year-old defensive midfielder who was transferred to Stuttgart in Germany for a modest amount, €3 million. At the time, the transfer went almost unnoticed, but today, the story is changing completely. Chema is standing out in the Bundesliga, one of the most intense and demanding leagues in European football. His performances have drawn attention for their consistency, maturity, and versatility on the pitch. In a short time, he has already managed to score goals, provide assists, and, more recently, earned call-ups to Spain's under-21 national team. A solid rise that is being closely monitored by the Merengue club. And the key point in all this? Real Madrid has an active buyback clause, which allows them to bring the player back for just €13 million as early as the next summer transfer window. According to information from Cadena SER, the club is carefully monitoring every step of the player's development in Germany. What impresses is not only his 1.9-meter physical stature, which imposes presence in midfield, but also his technical ability with the ball at his feet, vision, and tactical awareness. Within the current scenario, where the club has already said goodbye to Toni Kroos and, previously, to Luka Modric, and is still looking to define who will be the new conductor of the midfield, Chema emerges as an in-house solution, financially viable and technically promising. Some even say he resembles the early trajectory of a certain Casemiro. But that, of course, depends on whether he maintains this high level of performance. What remains to be seen is whether the board will decide to trigger that buyback clause. The market will be watching, and so will the fans. Will it happen? That's still unknown, but what's certain is that all eyes are already on him. And while we're talking about reinforcements and comebacks, another important name is starting to show positive signs in the medical department: Trent Alexander-Arnold. Even though he's not yet fit to start El Clasico, the English right-back is in an advanced stage of recovery and may be close to returning to the pitch. According to information from BBC Sport, the coaching staff expects Trent to be 100% physically fit for the Champions League match against Liverpool, precisely his former club, where he built a significant part of his career before arriving at the Santiago Bernabeu. So far, Alexander-Arnold has played only 156 minutes in a Real Madrid shirt, and his initial performances were targets of criticism from both the Spanish press and fans. However, internally, the player is fully committed to regaining his best technical and physical form. Trent's personal mission is clear: to become a reliable piece again, especially in big games, and prove his worth already in his return to Anfield, one of the most demanding stages in Europe. Real Madrid continues to believe in his potential, but also knows that patience and proper preparation are crucial to avoid new injuries and ensure consistency. The expectation is set. Will we see a new Alexander-Arnold in the second half of the season? The outlook says yes, and the next chapter could begin very soon. And if you're still not subscribed, man, subscribe now. We've got new videos every day, packed with emotion, information, and pure passion for the greatest club in history.